There's something different about this war now. It's not just the battles on the ground or the headlines on your screen. It's the rhythm, the tempo, the silence between the strikes. Because while most of the world has been distracted by talk of fighter jets and shifting alliances, a new kind of escalation has been unfolding, not with declarations, but with deliveries. And the story begins not on the front lines, but deep inside Russia's defense industry. For over a decade, the Iskander missile system has been a known quantity. Tactical, mobile, and hard-hitting, it became a cornerstone of Russian deterrence long before the war in Ukraine. But now, it's being reborn. Engineers and defense officials aren't calling it a revolution. It's more like refinement, deadly refinement. Internally, some have referred to it as Iskander 1000, a term that suggests a new benchmark in both performance and production. Officially, the Kremlin remains vague, but the output tells its own story. Starting in late 2023, Russia dramatically scaled up the number of Iskander missiles being produced. Previously, experts estimated that Moscow could produce maybe 200 to 250 of these missiles a year. That figure is no longer accurate. By early 2025, the estimated production surged past 700 annually, and it hasn't slowed. Inside the Votkinsk machine building plant and other key facilities, shifts have been extended. Equipment has been modernized. Some of it came through back channels, Chinese and Taiwanese machinery, shipped via third countries to dodge sanctions. The scale of this effort is difficult to overstate. Russia is building not just to replace what's been used, but to stockpile far beyond what was previously necessary. And that should raise serious questions. These new Iskanders aren't sitting in storage depots gathering dust. They're being used, and not randomly. In the early stages of the war, Russia often launched these missiles one at a time as strategic signals. Now, they're part of larger strike packages, integrated with drones, cruise missiles, and jamming systems. One Iskander might target a radar installation, another might hit a bridge. 10 minutes later, a wave of Lancet drones arrives to take out remaining assets. This kind of sequencing isn't accidental. It's calculated, it's evolving, and perhaps most important, it's coordinated. Western systems like Patriot or Iris-T can shoot some of them down, but the Iskanders aren't designed to be fired alone. They're meant to be overwhelming, fast, and unpredictable. When one costs $1.5 million and forces the enemy to use a $4 million interceptor, Russia considers that a win. At first glance, it might seem like these strikes are simply about destruction, but that's only part of the picture. The real effect is psychological and operational. Ukrainian supply lines are now under near constant threat. Key transport hubs get hit just hours before Russian armored thrusts begin. Fuel depots, bridges, even large warehouses storing humanitarian aid, all are within range. The Iskander is no longer just a precision weapon. It's a pressure tool. It bends timelines, slows reactions, disrupts planning. In a war where logistics are king, that matters more than any headline about who holds which village. Despite repeated claims in Western media that Russia is running out of missiles, recent data suggests the opposite. Open-source intelligence, commercial satellite imagery, and even spikes in industrial power usage in specific oblasts confirm that production is not just ongoing, it's accelerating. Missile convoys continue to move from production plants to operational bases, sometimes under cover of night, sometimes in plain sight, but always with purpose. Even Western analysts now admit, off record, that the West's assumptions about Russia's missile limitations were likely flawed. If Moscow can sustain this pace into 2026, the strategic implications are enormous. So, what does this mean for Ukraine and its allies? It means that air defenses, no matter how modern, will always be playing catch-up. Every Patriot system sent takes months to train, deliver, and integrate. Every SAMP/T launcher deployed can only cover so much ground. And Russia knows this. They're not trying to break through air defenses completely. They're trying to exhaust them. In war, depletion can be more powerful than destruction. Ukraine's stocks of interceptors aren't infinite. Every successful shoot-down still costs time, money, and energy. Meanwhile, Russia just reloads. If you can produce 3 times faster than your enemy can defend, you're not fighting the same war. You're setting the pace. This isn't just about Ukraine anymore. Across Europe, NATO countries are quietly reassessing their own missile defenses. Countries like Poland, Romania, and even Germany are wondering, if it comes to a direct confrontation, would they be ready? Because what Russia is building with Iskander is more than a weapon system. It's a message that says, we've adapted, we're still here, and we're not waiting for permission, even if sanctions bite deeper, even if Western arms keep flowing into Kyiv. Moscow seems confident that its missile production will remain steady. That's not a boast. It's an industrial calculation, and for now, it's working. The Iskander isn't flashy. It doesn't dominate headlines like a tank breakthrough or an airstrike gone viral. But it's carving out a different kind of dominance, one built on consistency, volume, and precise timing. In this war, where both sides are bleeding resources and morale, the long game is what matters most. And while the West continues to hope for a quick resolution or a decisive counteroffensive, Russia appears to be preparing for something else entirely, a war of attrition, one that's fought less with flags and more with factories. This is the story of the Iskander-1000. Not a miracle weapon, just a reminder that in modern war, quiet power can still change everything.